Welcome to St. Tiernach's Park in Clonus for the biggest day in the Monaghan football calendar of the year. With me I've got John Mullen. John, county final times once again, minor and senior today. You're the man with all the headaches and the fixtures and whatever goes with it, but things have gone well.
Oh, gone great the year, overall, Tommy. We had a very good year and some great games in all the championships. And I suppose the bonus for myself this year that my own club's here in the minor and senior final. So it's first time in 11 years and doubly enjoyable today. Now, Scotstown over the years, they're renowned for their qualities. And they've had those senior championships. They've had great success in Ulster. Magheracloone 2 years ago got to the very first final and they almost made it. Just pipped at the post on the second day. What will they have learned from their experience of then? Well, I suppose, Tommy, most of the team that would have played 2 years ago will be playing here today. I'd say 12 or 13 of the Magheracloone team will be playing here today, and the experience will surely stand them a good stead in playing in Clonus. The Scotstown fellas wouldn't have played, well, they would have, a good few of the Scotstown team would have been in the minor team here 6 years ago, so they would have played in the final here. So from the point of view of experience of the pitch and all, I suppose Magheracloone would have slight advantage there. And I suppose all neutrals in Monaghan, I suppose 2 years ago wanted to see Magheracloone winning, with all due respects to Clontibret, and they nearly won. There were two fantastic matches, in fact. They were the best for county finals we've had in the last 10 years, I would safely say. So they've learned that much anyway, I suppose, but I suppose they're still under the pressure. They have to win their first one, and I suppose even though we have a new generation of Scotstown players, they've fantastic self-belief, and I think that will stand to them today too. But it's 50-50 game, Tommy, at the end of this. 50-50.
Two very different styles, and it will be a hard one to call.
Oh, it's very difficult to call. On the day, sure, all Ireland championships this year, everything is so unpredictable. You don't know what's going to happen really. It all depends how different players react on the day and how players cope with the pressure of the day. A lot of players will be nervous, so it's all down on the day as to who plays well and who doesn't, and that you hope 10 or 11 of your players will play very, very well on the day, and you hope that'll be Kieran, who takes their chances and who gets the little breaks.
John, it's a pleasure talking to you, and may your day go very well.
Thank you very much, Tommy. Thank you.
So that was John Mullen. Philip Kelly with me. I just nabbed him on his way into the stand. Was it 2 years ago or so? We're talking here when you were here with your new bride, and back again today. Was talking to John Mullen a few minutes ago. Magheracloone, Philip, should, and I'd say have, learned a lot from their experience of 2 years ago.
They definitely have. Now, I would say that the Magheracloone team that takes the field here today, for a lot of reasons, will be a different team. Number one, nerves got to the lads here this day 2 years ago, because there were players in that team like Pauric, Kelly, John McMahon, James Ward, lads that never walked behind a band in their life before or faced the crowd like we faced here 2 years ago. And they were abundant nerves. They said it at half time. When they went behind the man, they didn't know where they were. They were isolated. Like, all that is behind them now. I'd expect those boys from the first whistle here today to really give it their all. And hopefully that'll be the difference in winning and losing. Because we did lose, I'd say we lost 25 minutes of the match the last day 2 years ago with pure nerves. Our full back line they were totally asleep for that reason and that reason alone,
Now, you mentioned a few players there, and one you mentioned was Pauric Kelly. In this year's semi-final, particularly at the start of the second half, he was phenomenal. And if Pauric Kelly leads like that today from the full-back position and the players around him, it's going to be great for Magheracloone.
Yeah, well, we'd be expecting if Pauric gives us a game like he gave us the last day, and in fact the day before that as well, I would have no doubts whatsoever that the Cup will be coming back to Magheracloone for the first time in its history. And as you say, Pauric, he's a key to the team. He's the full back. Our goalkeeper will probably put the balls, he'll put it past the halfway line, but when it's coming back the other way, we're relying on Pauric and James Ward at centre half back. They're the two guys. If they play the way they're playing all year, I've no doubt in the world the Cup will come back to Magheracloone, because we have the forwards. In naming the two Freemans like Damien and Thomas, everyone knows about them, but anyone who was in Carrick for the last game, Fintan Kindlon give an exhibition. Like, we have James Ward can come up from the centre half back, we have Pauric, Finnegan. We have 6 forwards there. Any one of them can take scores.
And a great bench to pick from.
Yeah, I'd say even from 2 years ago, we probably have a stronger bench today. Like with the likes of Gerard McCaul there today that wasn't there 2 years ago, that can come in and play on any position. So hopefully, like I would say myself, it's today or never for our guys, because we've been there now for 2 or 3 years. We should have everything ironed out that we hadn't a couple of years ago, and if we're ever going to win a county title, I think today is the day.
Philip Kelly, a pleasure talking to you. And now if I could get Sean McKenna. Sean, once again we're around to county final time, and once again, as I've said in the past and I'll say it again, to you and your team, congratulations on the production of this programme. I was glancing through it from I arrived here, and it's absolutely fantastic. People that get programmes, sometimes on a bad day they use them to sit on them, sometimes they use them to shield their head, but I wonder how many read them from cover to cover, and if they don't, it's an awful shame.
Well, Tommy, whether people will read it from cover to cover here today in Clonus, I doubt it. But generally next Tuesday, Wednesday night, when the dust settles in Magheracloone and Scotstown and in Blaney as well, they'll sit down and they'll browse through it and they'll pick up wee bits of information here and there. And that's where they probably, most of these guys get the value out of their programme. Today they'll only look at the teams or who the referee is. But apart from that, I must say it has been a great social enjoyment over me the last 3 years doing it. I have a good man come team in the RNS Printers and in JP Graham, and lest I forget, I have a good backup team at home as well in Valerie, my wife, and the 2 girls, Orla and Denise, who will be glad to see this period of finals over, because they said they want the kitchen table back for eating on, not for doing programmes on.
Now, you mentioned Valerie, and from ever I first started covering football in Monaghan, Valerie has been there. I'd absolutely love to have a word with her, but I think she has disappeared somewhere outside. Definitely not skiving by any matter of means. She's a very busy woman.
Definitely she's not skiving, and she's the one that does all the talking in our family, so if I get her around to getting her here to say a few words to Tommy, I'll get her, because she is far better at throwing the words out than Sean McKenna.
Well, the fact is that, like myself, there's quite a lot of Leitrim blood in her, and well, our ancestors were well known for being fit to speak up for themselves.
Oh, there's certainly there. If that's the case in Leitrim, they're well able to talk for themselves.
Sean McKenna, pleasure talking to you. John Canley. Conveying and relaying messages just to keep the thing going on. He's on his way up, Vice Chairman of the County Board, and of course proud to be from Curran, and very glad to be here once again in the Jerry Arthur stand for the big day and the Monaghan football calendar, John.
That's quite correct, Tommy. Clonus sets a great scene for the big day. It's our flagship of the day, and we try to run it as professional as we can, and hopefully we'll have 2 good games. The minor match should be a good game. People say that Blaney will walk over Scotstown, but no team ever walks over Scotstown, so I'm expecting a very close encounter with the minor game especially. And on to the senior game, 2 very entertaining teams. Scotstown has been a number of years now from the back in the final, and I can tell you that they'll not be wanting when it comes to the final whistle.
They certainly wouldn't want to know. The only time I saw Scotstown in action this year was actually in the semi-final against Latin. They went out with a game plan, and even though at times that they seemed for a while to be chasing the game, they never wavered, they never changed their game plan, they stuck to it, and it come good for them in the end.
Oh, that's correct. They're a very efficient side. They're good. They've great backs. They concentrate. And young David McCabe in the middle of the field now, who I think has come very good this year, is a key figure in there. And also in the forward line, Nicholas Corrigan would be. They'll be looking at Nicholas for a very big game today.
The inter-county experience for some of them players. But speaking of inter-county experience, Magheracloone have it as well. The Freeman brothers, they were live wires in their semi-final. That's when I saw the first sight of them this year. Of course, I've also mentioned that Pauric Kelly at full-back is a revelation. Fintan Kindlon playing out around the centre section of the field. The possession he wins, the use he makes of it, the Joneses, Doogans, you name it. Like, it's going to be a very intriguing final.
Oh, there's no question about it. And Magheracloone, by all accounts, Magheracloone have put in a lot of preparation for this game because, in fairness to them, you know, they've been there for the last number of years. And Thomas Freeman and Damien Freeman, like, there's no way that they're two excellent players, and I have watched them with Intercounty and I've been involved with them now for the last 12 months, and they're two great lads, and I would nothing like to see them definitely getting a medal at senior championship in Monaghan.
And of course, going back to Scotstown, two other lads, or a few other lads that have involved in the county scene, Pauric, Kieran and Mark Duffy as well, coming along. Great blend of both youth and experience on both sides, and both sides great benches.
No doubt about it. Both benches are very strong. Just on Pauric Keenan there. Pauric Keenan was in last year with the county senior quad, and in all fairness, it has stood to him a lot. I saw him every game this year in the championship, and Pauric is a great reader of the game now. And Mark Duffy, well, this pitch here should suit Mark Duffy. He's a very fast player, and hopefully they'll do themselves justice on the day.
John Connolly, you're a very busy man. I let you go, and thanks for talking to me.
Thanks, Tommy, and I just want to say thank you to you both, because you've done a great job with us over the championship matches. We have never any problem with you. Once you know the championship fixture's on, we have no worry about you turning up, so you do a very professional job. Thank you very much.
John Connolly, got a million Now, I've talked to the vice chairman, I've talked to the PRO, I've talked to the head of the fixtures, and now I want to talk to the secretary. John, as usual, it has been a very, very busy year. But it has been, like I said to John Mullen earlier on, a successful year.
Yeah, successful, yeah. Of course, we're not at the end yet, and we have a lot of things to do, but on the playing field has been very successful. The championships have been good. Gate-wise, we're up, you know, and that's important to us. That the interest is there, and we're getting more people to our games. So, I suppose the fact that the championship was fairly open, all of them, and fairly evenly matched games, although we hadn't that many draws. Otherwise, the public was interested, and we're very pleased so far with the gates.
Now, it's interesting, Scotstown are here on the double today. Castleblaney are here as well today. And the big clubs, over the years, they just keep coming through. But as well as that, you've got the new ones. You've got Magheracloone.
Yeah, I suppose looking from Magheracloone's angle, there's probably two reasons why people have said they'd like to see them winning. And I mean, one would be, of course, that there'll be a new name on the cup today, and secondly, the great stalwart Jim Fox, who passed away early in the year, and you know, it's a tragedy that he's not here today, because he'd be central to everything that was going on with Magheracloone, and he lived his life for Magheracloone. I never saw them lift the cup. He was here 2 years ago, you remember, when they drew and they lost the final. So just for Jim's sake too, they'd probably like to lift the cup today. The big clubs, the Scotstowns and Blaney, well, Scotstown have been away for a while, and they're making a reappearance after a number of years. Over the championship, they've been doing enough to win by the odd point or two. But I suppose at the start of the year, if you had to say the team that had beat Clontibbert, beat Castleblaney and beat Latin, you know, deservedly would be in the final, and Scotstown have done that. They're unbeaten. Magheracloone maybe slightly easier passage, nevertheless they're here unbeaten. So both teams is here on merit, both are here unbeaten, you know, what should be a very interesting final.
John, pleasure talking to you, and may everybody have a good day. Padraig is here taking a nice shot of you.
And you.
John, thanks.
Okay, thanks.
Out on the field, Magheracloone Mitchells have just come out to pose for the photographers. Just tell you, Pat, that while you're down there on the sideline with the camera, I'm back in the comfort of the box, and I've got a great Scotstown man, a great Monaghan man with me, Jerry McCarville. Jerry, come closer to the window here till we have a little talk to you. The minor game, it just didn't go as Scotstown might have liked it, but you're really looking forward to the senior one.
Yeah, but, well, we come with expectations of trying to hold the score down in the minor match. We didn't expect to win it, but they put up a good enough show. Blaney's a very strong team, and hopefully we can change it around in the senior match.
Now, Great experience. There's the senior team now just coming out onto the field. A great blend of experience and youth in that Scotstown senior team.
Yeah, it's a great mixture. I think there's a few old hands there. Seamus Mullen has 2 championship medals from 92, 93. Around the middle of the field with Keith McConnell. Up front they're all Nicholas Corrigan county players last number of years. I think it's a good blend.
2 different styles, very contrasting styles. When I saw Scotstown in the semi-final against Latin, they used that blanket defence type thing, the smothered Latin around that middle third of the field. Magheracloone play a fast-moving game, but I'm sure Sean McCabe has said, well, there's a way around that too.
Yeah. The Scotstown team work very well as a unit. Like everybody from number 15, they defend in numbers and attack and counter-attack all the time. I think it's promising to be a good match, I'd say.
Jerry, enjoy it. Thanks for talking to me. So now with the crowd really filling the stand here in St. Tiernach Park in Clonus, Magheracloone and Scotstown teams both out on the field. This for the ACC Bank Senior Football Championship Final of 2004. And then the stand bringing the parade. It's Scotstown in their blue and white, Magheracloone in their black and white. parading, I'll just give you a quick check on the teams. The Magheracloone team in goal, Shane Duffy. Right back, Donal Kindlon. Full back, Pauric Kelly. Left back, Michael Jones. The half line on the right, John McMahon. On the centre, James Ward. And on the left, Byrne Freeman. Centre field, Francis Doogan and Francis Jones. The half forward line on the right, Keith Gilsenan. In the centre, Paul Jones, the captain. And on the left, Thomas Freeman. Top of the right, Paudie Finnegan. Full forward, Damien Freeman. Top of the left, Fintan Kindlon. The Scotstown team in goal, Philip Maguire. Right back, Pauric Kieran. Full back, Seamus Mullen. Left back, Gerard Corrigan. The half line on the right, Donal Morgan. In the centre, Damien McKenna. And on the left, Ryan Daly. Centre field, David McCabe and Keith McGannell. The half forward line on the right, Colin McElwain. In the centre, Brian McGinnity, the captain. And on the left, Nicholas Corrigan. Top of the right, Shane McCarville. Full forward, Declan McCarville. And top of the left, Mark Duffy. Brendan Walsh from the Pierce Brothers Club in Ballybay. He's the man in charge of the whistle in this one. The national anthem over. The band about to leave the field. The backs go back in their positions. The forwards go forward into theirs. The senior final is underway, and it's Francis Doogan driving the ball inside. Damien Freeman and chase. Out near the sideline, ball knocked out over the sideline. Ryan Daly retrieves it. Gerard Corrigan will kick it. Colin McElwain is out over the sideline in possession. John McMahon's ball inside now towards Thomas Freeman. Slipping around on the surface. Support coming in from Paudie Finnegan. Fintan Kindlon running onto that, and he was being restrained there by Damien McKenna. James Ward up from centre back. Accurate from place balls in the semi-final with that left foot. Not so on this occasion, but the ball still kept alive in there. and referee going in to signal that there's another free. Thomas Freeman is going to take this one, and in the last few minutes the rain has eased somewhat, but the wind has strengthened quite a lot. And the cheer will tell you that Magheracloone have opened their account. Just 2 minutes played in the first half. Thomas Freeman free. As Philip Maguire prepares to kick out for Scotstown. Fintan Kindlon taking up that roll around the middle of the field that he did in the semi-final. A nice touch on from Nicholas Corrigan, and Keith McConnell will drive that one in. And they're level. 2.5 minutes. Colm McElwain down it. Maybe it was Colm who. It was actually Colm, I think, who set up that score. Now he's gone down injured. So McConnell driving over from distance now. Shane Duffy waiting for the kick out. Waiting to take it. McElwain receiving some attention. But he's up and running, and the game to recommence with the kick out from Shane Duffy. And that's a line ball for Scotstown. A little tangle there between Gerard Corrigan and Paudie Finnegan as their boots got somewhat tangled. As Colm McElwain, Corrigan is calling for it inside. McElwain kicks it. Shane Duffy is there to grab it. And Shane Duffy will roll it out to Francis Jones. But that was quick thinking there from Brian McGinnity. Ball sent right across in. Mark Duffy's kick is blocked down, and Shane Duffy will pick it up. Mark Duffy will tackle him. Ball played out. Keith Gilsenan back helping out in defence. Francis Jones to John McMahon. Now Paudie Finnegan. Up to Thomas Freeman. Thomas being chased by a man who was on the county panel with him through the league, Pauric Kieran. Thomas Freeman's kick has gone wide. Philip Maguire to kick out for Scotstown. Oh, Damien Freeman collects it, and that's going to go wide from Damien Freeman. It's got very, very blustery. The wind certainly increased considerably in the last half hour or so. Now Damien McKenna driving the ball down. Pauric Kelly coming out and grabbing it. Gets it out to John McMahon. Up to Fintan Kindlon. Fintan Kindlon will feed that one inside for Thomas Freeman. Damien's free on the far side. Thomas confronted by Pauric Keenan. Thomas Freeman releasing now and taking the return from Francie into Fintan Kindlon. Francie Doogan has also made himself available. This is Keith Gilsenan. And Gilsenan's kick has put Magheracloone in front. 2 points to 1. 6.5 minutes played. Ryan Daly has been given the task of marking Damien Freeman in this one. Out it comes. Francis Jones knocking it down. The referee, they're going to, I would imagine, throw the ball up because it made contact with him. So Brendan Walsh throwing it in. Now it's Seamus Mullen down to Colin McIlwain. John McMahon after him. Still McIlwain. Playing it nicely, and there's a quick transfer inside. And Scotstown are going forward. It was Donal Morgan who was up from wing back. Now the notebook is coming out. There's a free in to Scotstown. Pauric Kelly, the Magheracloone fullback. Yellow card. 8 minutes into the game. That's putting pressure on a defender. Colin McIlwain has levelled the match at 2 points apiece from the free. So Shane Duffy bringing the ball out to the 20-metre line for the kick out. It's been a good lively opening 8.5 minutes here in St. Tiernach's Park. As Duffy drives that away beyond, it's gone beyond midfield. Gerard Corrigan was there to try and feed it on for Mark Duffy. James Ward is going to take this kick for Magheracloone. Tried to get it in towards Paul Jones. Brian McGinnity was there. It's a bit crowded around the middle of the field as Bernard Freeman feeds the ball up. Pauric Kieran advances and collects. Lays it off now for Donal Morgan. Very talented young player, Donal Morgan. Here's another talented man in Mark Duffy, and the experienced Nicholas Corrigan is in there, but the referee says he fouled Pauric Kelly. Very interesting, some of the players that have been pitted against each other in this final. Very crowded around that middle third of the field. Plenty of space inside for both sets of forwards. Francis Doogan bringing it down for John McMahon to feed it into Bernard Freeman. A cross-field ball. There was a push in the back there. The foul on Paul Jones and the free up to Fintan Kindlon. Fintan Kindlon's kick going inside. Play on, says the referee. Daly clears it. McIlwain knocked it out over the sideline despite the best efforts of Damien McKenna to keep it in play. Between them it went out. Fintan Kindlon Thomas Freeman was being fouled as the kick was being taken. James Ward going up to take the free for Magheracloone. And the radar system must be switched off for James today. Normally, both those kicks that James Ward had taken would be on target, but neither one on this occasion, although indirectly the first one did eventually lead to a score. David McCabe out over the sideline in possession. Fintan Kindlon in towards Damien Freeman. Damien Freeman taking on Ryan Daly. Brought down. Who's going to take this free? Thomas Freeman is going to take it. Change the ball. So this will be from the 20-metre line. Quite difficult for a right-footed kicker from this particular angle, but let's see how Thomas Freeman does. Thomas Freeman does very, very well. 3 points to 2. 13 minutes played in the first half. Out across the middle. Now, Gerard Corrigan's kick. And referee Brendan Walsh's carry on. Paul Jones into Paudie Finnegan. Scotstown line ball. Again, players squaring up to each other. Seamus Mullen in to Mark Duffy. Duffy being held back, and the free to Scotstown. David McCabe with the free. Dropping it in, James Ward there. James is fouled. Shane Duffy to take the free out. Way beyond midfield that goes. Now a combination there, Damien McKenna eventually getting the ball. Keith McGonnell was also involved, as was Seamus Mullen, and then it's way down there at the left-hand side of the ground as we look at it out of play. Magheracloone 3, Scotstown 2, heading towards 16 minutes in the first half of this ACC Bank Senior Football Championship final. Francis Doogan setting himself the ball knocked down. That was Paul Jones who drove it on. Ryan Daly fly kicking it out to David McCabe. McCabe playing it down towards Nicholas Corrigan. Pauric Kelly out there with him. Mickey Jones going back. Now it's Francis. And then Pauric Keenan collects that. Paul Jones gone down injured. John McMahon with the free up to Fintan Kindlon. Fintan Kindlon kicks it inside to Damien Freeman. Freeman will send it further inside. There's a chance. It's going to be in on it from Paudie Finnegan. Damien Freeman had two choices. He had either his brother Tom or Paudie Finnegan to choose. He elected to go for Finnegan, rounding the keeper into an empty net. 1-3 to 0-2, Magheracloone lead. Just over 17 minutes played. Seamus Mullen will chase back to pick that up for Scotstown. Laying the ball off to Mark Duffy. Support coming in from David McCabe. In it goes now, Declan McCaul. Now Colin McElwain. McElwain going, shooting and scoring. Colin McElwain. It's 1-3 to 0-3. Great determination, great passion about both these teams. Francis Doogan. Ball wasn't out, says the linesman. Gerard Corrigan of Scotstown in possession. Jersey pulled. David McKeag is feeding it down to Declan McCarville. David McKeag looking to see who's doing the moving inside. That ball is fisted on. Declan McCarville, I think, was the last to get a fist to it. Or was it a Magheracloone player who was last to get a fist to it? No, it's a kick out. Shane McCarville was underneath that as well. Heading towards 20 minutes in the first half. Francis Doogan grabs that. Francis Jones about to be challenged in there by Brian McGinnity and by Nicholas Corrigan. Francis Doogan and Pauric Kelly get it out now to Bernard Freeman. Bernard Freeman, again the long ball up. And it breaks nicely. There's a good ball inside. To Damien Freeman in for Thomas Freeman. Thomas Freeman is... No, he's not brought down. There's a bundle of players in there. There's a Magheracloone player down injured. We're playing on. Gerard Corrigan of Scotstown picks it up. Now there's a stoppage in play. And there's one blood substitution needed anyway. Back there. Gerard Corrigan. Gerard going for treatment. And Gerard Finnegan is going in. I think that's as a blood substitute for Paudie. Pauric McCrudden. That's Francis Doogan. Now, Pauric McCrudden in the Scotstown team. And both injured players being worked on. Two very influential players so far in this game, because Finnegan got the goal and Gerard Corrigan, well, was outstanding in the Scotstown defence. That's Nicholas Corrigan. Nicholas Corrigan kicking it inside to Declan McCarville, laying the ball off now. Colin McElwain. McElwain's kick is tailing off and going wide. "22 minutes gone in the first half. Shane Duffy to kick out. John McMahon, John from Magheracloone out over the sideline. Seamus Mullen will take the sideline kick. I see Shane McCarville way back in a defensive role. I don't know what Paudie Kelly was looking for there, but certainly what he was looking for was quite a bit away. David McCabe floating that one in, again into the danger zone. Declan McCarville turning and kicking, dropping in. Shane Duffy reaching up, but there was forwards in the square. Out it comes now to Fintan Kindlon. Fintan being forced in field. Then the ball taken by the wind. Francis Doogan sliding out over the sideline. The referee overruling the linesman. John McMahon, with 24 minutes gone in the first half. John McMahon with the kick inside. Gerard Finnegan lays it off now. Francis Jones up to Thomas Freeman. Freeman trying to slip away from a couple of challenges. Fintan Kindlon to his right. Fintan Kindlon about to kick and score. 1-4-0-3. Fintan Kindlon, 24 and a half minutes. Gerard Corrigan is back in wearing a number 31.
And Gerard Corrigan now wears the number 31 jersey.
So Gerard Corrigan back in. Meanwhile, Seamus Mullen is being spoken to and getting a yellow card. So both number 3s yellow carded in this game. Philip Maguire's kick. Seamus Mullen grabs it, tries to drive forward. There's a free. Damien McKenna down to Declan McCarville. Donal Kindlon across there with him. And the Kildare man now retrieving the ball. Pauric Kelly at the second attempt. John McMahon looking for somebody. That somebody is Fintan Kindlon. Up to Michael Jones. Brian McGinnis, he was chasing back there, bringing him down. Number about to be kicked. 26 minutes gone. James Ward. Will that run for Damien Freeman? It does. Ryan Daly will try and close him down.
Damien putting on the brakes, playing it into the middle. Gerard Finnegan, a quick transfer to Thomas Freeman. And over the bar from Thomas Freeman. Paudie Finnegan back in wearing a number 30.
Paudie Finnegan returning to the Magheracloone team, and Paudie will wear the number 30 jersey, replacing Gerard Finnegan.
Seamus Mullen, there was a foul. There's a free to Scotstown. Mark Duffy now trying to break away. Paul Jones back there. Gets the support from James Ward. Seamus Mullen underneath it. Francis Doogan in challenging. Scotstown's free. Keith McGonnell out to Shane McCarville. Shane McCarville's kick is over the bar. The Drumbarnet man getting Scotstown's fourth. It's 1-5 to 0-4. As we go towards 28 minutes in the first half. Jim O'Rourke about to put up the board. 1 minute. So David McCabe for Scotstown. Kick half blocked down. James Ward is there to pick it up. James Ward driving it long up the field, but it's intercepted there by Donal Morgan. Now Shane McCarville. Tried to play it off David McCaig, and Fintan Kindlon up to Thomas Freeman. I, of course, should have mentioned that Paul Jones was very instrumental in getting the ball to Kindlon, and Thomas Freeman's kick is going to drop short. Philip Maguire gets it out to Seamus Mullen. Back to Philip Maguire. Now playing it out. Ryan Daly. Down the line from Ryan Daly. James Ward there to collect. Touched the ball, did he? No, his jersey was pulled. Pauric Kelly. Into Fintan Kindlon. Keith Gilsenan. Bernard Freeman. Damien Freeman. Paudie Finnegan. Finnegan going for the kick. And the point from Paudie Finnegan. Sean McKenna and his team went to great detail in putting down all the townlands that these players come from. There's some of them I wouldn't even dare to try and pronounce. I'd probably get it wrong. Francie Doogan knocking the ball down. Paudie Finnegan in possession. There's a free to Magheracloone. Now his way was blocked, so it's now moved into the 45-metre line. Fintan Kindlon is calling James Ward up, I think. Or Shane Duffy, maybe. Yes, they're calling James. Well, I'm a bit of confusion there as to whether it was Shane Duffy or James Ward. It's James Ward that's going to take it. In the semi-final, I think it took a third attempt or something like that to get the target for him. 3 isn't enough today. 31 minutes. That should bring us to half-time with this kick out. It does. And so at half-time, it's 1-6 to Magheracloone. It's 4 points to Scotland.
We're enjoying the half-time cup of tea here in St. Tiernach Park. Just going to put my arms around Valerie McKenna. Name just slipped me from when I had it right. Valerie, we talked before the game to your husband Sean about the programme.
Yeah.
And he said that he was informed lately that when the finals are over, the kitchen table will then be used for the dinner and not for doing up programmes.
Exactly.
But those programmes are a credit to the people who compile them.
Thank you very much. I've done most of the work myself.
Well, I knew you'd say that because I said earlier on, like myself, there's a lot of Leitrim blood in you.
That's
and
true.
we can talk and speak for ourselves.
Oh, yes, we can. It comes out, doesn't it?
It does. Valerie, enjoy your cup of tea. Sorry for taking you away from it. Thanks for talking to me. I saw Nudie Hughes a little earlier. Nudie's over the far side. I'm going over to talk to Nudie. Nudie's on a call at the moment, but Pat, we got him here. Nudie, we've got the camera over there in the corner, and we've got you in this corner. It's county final day, and a county final that's been played with some passion.
Yes, well, the two previous occasions now, Scotstown and Magheracloone were very tight. And there's a lot of good hits out there, real good, honest to goodness football. There was fortunes there, Magheracloone with a goal, but it took a shocking well, a decision that could have went either way with the free kick. But I have to say, on the first half performance, tactically, Magheracloone have been very well prepared. The forward line is functioning very well as a unit, while Scotstown has only two forwards. In the last 2 minutes, Scotstown had only one forward that scored, and in the last attack, they got a last point, two forwards, compared to Magheracloone, where they have four forwards scoring. So it's favoured them a slight bit.
It's a little bit crowded in here, but it's great to be in here in the warmth, because out there, pity the people in the stands, Nudie. It's a cold September day.
Well, probably the Scotstown people will find it a bit colder at the moment because the decisions are going against them at the minute, and the scoreline reflects in that. Magheracloone people wouldn't feel the cold because of the fact they're winning. But it is a cold day and it's a slippy day. It's an awkward day for football. But the way you look at it is, football is played on any day, and it's whatever opportunity you make on the day. Make the least mistakes, take the opportunities when arriving you. And at the present minute, Magheracloone are performing on that there. And we have a chance here making history now, the first time ever for Magheracloone, and for over 50 years that no other new name has come on the McDuffy Cup. And I'm looking forward to a good second half. Immaterial who wins, I'm looking forward to a real good tight second half.
And Nudie, you'd feel warm because the Blaney young lads did the stuff too.
Yes, it was a very good Blaney team, and they're very disciplined. They played very good football, and again the conditions were tight during the first half and the second half of the game. But I think football was over in the end. It was a bit disappointing. Scotstown played below par, but having said that, Blaney played very well. Brought a lot of mistakes on themselves, but I have to say I'll be very happy with the way Blaney played, and first minor title in a few years. And there was articles written about Blaney playing intermediate football. They had a good win against Latin last night, but I think the future is good for Blaney football at the present time.
Nudie, a pleasure talking to you. We'll make our way back up to the press box because, like everybody else here, we're looking forward to an intriguing second half.
Thank you very much for that.
Thanks, Nudie. 1-6-0-4 as we belatedly rejoin you for the second half. We went down for the customary half-time cup of tea and a chat, and well, it started rather more quickly than we had expected. Damien F. McKenna is in place of Damien McKenna on the Scotstown team, and Declan McCarville sends the free inside. There's a good ball now for Mark Duffy. That's going to run free inside. That'll be a free out. Donal Kindlon was spun around. So, just to recap, that was Paudie Finnegan who got that early second half point for Magheracloone. This is Seamus Mullen now to David McCabe. David McCabe driving the ball through Brian McGinnity. Being chased by Pauric Kelly. Damien F. McKenna. Ball near the end line, out over the end line. 45. John Curley is going in to replace Shane McCarville. Scotstown making the changes early in the second half. So Shane McCarville is making way. John Curley going in. Brian McGinnity floating the ball in, and it's gone out over the end line. Out it comes, and that's Michael Jones who took the knockdown from Bernard Freeman. That's Francie Jones and Fintan Kindlon feeding it down. That's gone out over the sideline. Fintan Kindlon for Magheracloone. Thomas Freeman still going. Donal Morgan chasing back. Still Thomas Freeman. Oh, that's come back out. Seamus Mullen is held. That going out off John Curley for the Magheracloone line ball. 1704. That's what the scoreboard is reading at the moment. And now Thomas Freeman has gone down. There's almost 6 minutes played in the second half. So quite a delay here now with Thomas Freeman is receiving some attention. David McCabe with the Scotstown free. That will be broken down, and there's Fintan Kindlon of Magheracloone down to Damien Freeman. Pauric Keenan after him, free to Magheracloone. Damien Freeman into Thomas. Gerard Corrigan trying to close him down. That's Damien again with the kick and the score from way out. Referee writing it down and indicating that it had gone over. The umpire then waving the flag. 1804 it's at the moment. Fintan Kindlon knocking the ball down. Scotstown free. Seamus Mullen up to Mark Duffy. That's gone out over the sideline. John McMahon bouncing across a lot of players, but not bouncing across Gerard Corrigan. Nicholas Corrigan and chase there now with Bernard Freeman. That's a line ball to Magheracloone. James Ward is going to take it. Gerard Corrigan, David McCabe, John Kerley to Damien F. McKenna, right across in the middle. There's a chance inside for McGinnity, and he's put it wide. Is it going to be that kind of a day for Scotstown? That was a glorious chance to get right back into the game. It's 1-8-0-4 at the moment, and we're heading towards 10 minutes in the second half. David McCabe got a hand on that, but Gilsenan gets 2 on it, and then that's played way down into the corner. Gerard Corrigan is going back. Damien Freeman actually going and winning it at the corner flag, kicking it wide. Philip Maguire's kick out. Donal Morgan. In it goes. Keith McConnell will lay it off. There was a good call from Seamus Mullen. That's good running from Ryan Daly. Daly driving forward. Oh, he's dispossessed in there. And it was Paul Jones. Now it's Fintan Kindlon. That's Gerard Corrigan for Scotstown. James Ward advancing on that. Paul Jones going down on that one. That's going to be moved forward, that free for Scotstown. David McCabe going to take it. Plays it short. Damien F. McKenna has sent it out over the end line. Shane Duffy to kick out for Magheracloone. The calls are out there, and it's Fintan Kindlon winning that one. Damien Freeman trying to knock it down for Thomas. Paudie Finnegan was trying to go through the middle, but Gerard Corrigan doing very well for Scotstown. Gets it out to Keith McConnell. Seamus Mullen. Now Scotstown with Brian McGinnity feeding the ball inside. Declan McCarville's kick, and that has gone where others have gone before, and it's not where the Scotstown supporters would like it. Just not happening for them on the day here in St. Tiernach Park in Clones. There's a lot of time to go yet. There's only about 13 minutes or so gone in this second half. Francie Jones didn't hold it, and Mark Duffy laid the ball back. Colin McIlwain now driving forward, being chased all the way, still Colin McIlwain, turning infield, jab kicking the ball inside. Brian McGinnity lays it off. John Kerley, there was a timely hand there from Paul Jones. Who's going to get there first? Is Thomas Freeman, or is it Gerard Corrigan? Seamus Mullen is the answer. Up to Ryan Daly. Brian Daly up to Mark Duffy. Didn't take it cleanly. Francis Doogan out to challenge. Free to Scotstown. Mark Duffy into Keith McGannell. To Damien F. McKenna. Now for Donal Morgan. The move is broken down at the moment. Players in scrambling, trying to pick the ball up. Pauric Kelly gets it out to Bernard Freeman. Out to Fintan Kindlon. John McMahon. John McMahon drives it long. Thomas Freeman has got it. Trying to get away from Gerard Corrigan. He's pulled back. The notebook is coming out. There's an injury back at the other end of the ground as well, and the referee's attention has been brought to it. But halfway through this second half, but there will be time to be added on. There's been a few stoppages. Looking around, I think that must be Pauric Kelly. I cannot see him at any other place on the field, so that has to be Pauric Kelly, who's down injured at the moment. It is, he's back on his feet. And very soon, I think, we'll be back in the action. Meanwhile, at the other end of the ground, Thomas Freeman pops the ball over the bar. 1-9-4 in favour of Magheracloone. We've gone into the final quarter of the 2004 final. I asked the question of a few people before the game, what would Magheracloone have learned from their experience in the final 2 years ago? Well, the 3/4 of this game that has been played, I would say they learned quite a lot. Damien Freeman is out there, Pauric is there as well. A great player for both club and county for the future, Pauric Keenan, as Keith McGannell feeds the ball inside. Paul Jones reaching up, and Bernard Freeman getting the ball out now to Keith Gilsenan. That's out over the sideline. Damien Freeman will take it. Inside it goes. Gerard Corrigan gets it out the field now. Scotstown with Keith McGannell and John Kerley trying to move it forward. Referee has whistled it up, and Mark Duffy sends the free inside now to Declan McCarville. Declan McCarville kicking it on, asking Nicholas Corrigan to chase, and Nicholas out near the sideline. Now Scotstown playing it in to Keith McGannell in space. A chance of a score, dropping the ball inside. Oh, that's good work back there. And who was it? Pauric Kelly has been grounded now as he cleared the ball. The umpire is making a signal there, calling. Players just getting into a bit of a tangle. But Pauric Kelly in this year's championship has been absolutely tremendous for Magheracloone. Shane Duffy will take the free out for Magheracloone. Out towards the middle it goes. Francis Doogan and David McCabe. Going to be a throw-up ball, says Brendan Walsh. And Francis Doogan gets it. Kicks it on ahead. Thomas Freeman in chase. Gerard Corrigan will chase him. Thomas Freeman turning, kicking. Oh, what a score from Thomas Freeman. That is sheer class. $110-10-4. John Curley to Keith McGonnell. There's a free to Scotstown. Seamus Mullen, Nicholas Corrigan expects transfer to David McCabe. James Ward and Mark Duffy go in for it. Ball out over the sideline. James Ward will take the line ball. "21 minutes played in the second half." James Ward for Magheracloone into John McMahon. Keith Gilsenan. A crossfield ball. Seamus Mullen for Scotstown. Up for Nicholas Corrigan. Bernard Freeman out there with them. Nicholas Corrigan trying to work his way in. Dropping the ball in. Brian McGinnity in to try to get a fist to it, but there's a free out. Magheracloone, I think that's like Gerard McCaul and Gerard Finnegan that's limbering up. I'll check that a little later. It's definitely Gerard Finnegan. I think the other player is Gerard McCaul. They both came on in the semi-final in Carrickmacross some weeks ago. Out goes to the centre. Francis Doogan didn't hold. Colin McElwain is there now for Scotstown. Colin McElwain to land that ball inside once again. That's going to break inside. Now, what can Scotstown get from this? To get a point from it. Damien F. McKenna scores the point. 110-05. 8 points in it with less than 8 minutes to go. It's a big ask of Scotstown, but Scotstown in the past have been asked big questions and they've come up with very big answers. I saw Francis Jones indicating to Shane Duffy that he wanted the ball his side. It went the other side instead, and it's Ryan Daly who picks it up, feeds it on. But, James Ward is across there. James Ward now feeding the ball inside, but that's Pauric Keenan out now to John Curley. Look at for Damien Freeman, back in there, stealing the possession. Fintan Kindlon laying it off to Keith Gilsenan. Referee says it was a foul pass. Nicholas Corrigan, Bernard Freeman into challenge. Nicholas Corrigan kicking it high. Dropping inside, Declan McCabe for Brian McGinnity, inside for Declan McCabe, and Shane Duffy, it's gone wide. Shane Duffy came out and missed it. Francis Doogan was going back after it. It's definitely not Scotstown's day. That could have been 2 goals that would have left the scoreboard very, very interesting at this stage. How Scotstown players and supporters must feel to see the ball creep the wrong side of the upright on 2 occasions. Francis Doogan. A free to Magheracloone. John McMahon. Thomas Freeman was doing a little bit of pushing. David McCabe now to send that one forward. Donal Kindlon comes across. He had good support. Now it's Byrne Freeman. Paul Jones has done a great job back there where he slotted back in. This is James Ward. Referee blowing on the whistle, going to have a word with Mark Duffy. Gerard McCaul and Gerard Finnegan now both about to be introduced. The ball comes to Paul Jones. The referee says, Paul, you handle it on the ground. He won't mind that if in about 10 minutes' time he'll be getting his hands on the Mick Duffy Cup. That was Gerard Corrigan being brought down there. John Curley, Damien F. McKenna. Damien Freeman chasing back as McKenna plays the ball inside. That will be Shane Duffy's. Gets it out now to James Ward. Bit of a mix-up. Ball ballooned out into the terraces. Scotstown 45. Francis Jones, I think, is going to be withdrawn to make way for Gerard Finnegan. And Francis, who has played his part over the last few years, and a great part for Magheracloone, bringing them to a final 2 years ago, again back to this year's final that well, barring a major upset in the last 5 minutes or so that remain, and that's counting some added time, it should be their first ever title. The ball broke nicely for Gilsenan. Gerard Corrigan rolling the ball out for Seamus Mullen. Further on for David McCabe, leaves it behind. Gerard Finnegan after it. Gerard Finnegan on down for Fintan Kindlon. Paudie Finnegan is free in the middle, was for the moment. Kindlon's going to drop that one in. Collected in there by Philip Maguire. It's cleared out. Donal Morgan picks it up. In it goes now to Seamus Mullen. Scotstown playing the short ball. Ryan Daly to Keith McGonnell to Damien F. McKenna. Powerfully built young man setting off on the run. Pauric Kelly back there. James Ward going across as well. Free out. Now I think Gerard McCaul is going to get his chance to get into this final. And Magheracloone might, in the last few minutes, introduce Kieran McCaul and Mark Gilsenan as well. Out it comes. Scotstown battling on. Some of the seats beginning to empty here in the Gerard stand. Gerry McCaul for John McMahon. And Donal Kindlon is, I think, been asked to make way as well. Oh, it's 2 minutes. Sorry about that, Donal. It was the flashing two. This is Fintan Kindlon. Keith Gilsenan in to pick it up. Sent it in, collected in there by Philip Maguire. 1:10 to 0:5. We're into the added time. At least 2 minutes of that. So Magheracloone have another couple of minutes to wait to be confirmed as the 2004 champions and champions for the very first time. That's a Magheracloone line ball. David Riley had them well prepared for this. They came in and the breaks went well for them as well. Now I see a number 12 going up, and that number 12. No, it's not 12. I think it should be 10 because it's Keith Gilsenan. Yeah, and Keith gets a good hug there as he goes to the sideline. What a brilliant part he played himself and Francis Jones down there, and the congratulations have been dished out. And it's not because Magheracloone players just weren't up to it. It was a fact that all the players had trained so hard over the years get a chance to get on in this final. Donal Morgan and Ryan Daly battling on. James Ward for Magheracloone. Now Damien Freeman. Kieran McCaul had been involved in that move as well. Mark Gilsenan is going in. And what a man to make way for him. Pauric Kelly, absolutely delighted. And delighted as opposed to be coming off the field before the final whistle in the knowledge he's got a senior medal. Pauric Kelly, like I said throughout the commentary, has been phenomenal. It's all over. And Magheracloone Mitchells have captured their first ever senior championship title. They've done it at the second attempt. And, well, the answer is there for everybody. They learned a lot from their defeat of 2 years ago. Damien Freeman, congratulations. Francis Doogan, could you spare me a minute as well? Fantastic day for Magheracloone, Damien, that's all I can say. And what a performance. Learned so much from your champions experience over the last couple of years.
Definitely so. It has to be the best day of my life in footballing career so far. I'm sure it's everybody's in Magheracloone at the minute. We probably don't know what we did do yet, but I'm sure we'll not be long finding out.
It was an absolutely fantastic display. Took the game by the scruff of the neck. There was some tremendous scores. There was great work all through the field. And I'm going to talk now to a man that was such a powerhouse in the middle, and you'll appreciate the work he done out there. That's Francis Doogan. Francis, congratulations.
Cheers. We waited a long time for this day, and just look at the powers. It's unbelievable.
Now, this lad's dad will be a very, very happy man.
You'll be proud with two sons like that too, would you not? Huh? But unbelievable.
It was the scores that they took. I was talking to some of my work colleagues. I work up in Leitrim. We were talking about it during the week, and I said that Magheracloone would have the know-how to break down the Scotstown blanket defence. The quick ball into the Freeman brothers, by it worked like a gem.
Oh, it did, especially the first half against the breeze. Like, we put up a good score. Two boys just flying. Unbelievable.
Damien and Francis, I'll let you go. You might have got knocked during the game, but all the back slapping you're going to be very sore lads before morning. Congratulations.
Cheers, thanks a million.
That's his godchild. And she's just here today.
We'll make our way back over, Pat, and we'll get them over there. So Pat's doing the recording as we all make our way back towards the Jerry Arthur stand. Thankfully, the heavy rain of earlier has eased off. And, well, it certainly wouldn't dampen the Magheracloone celebrations anyway. I said it to Tom Freeman Sr. a couple of years ago. There will be Maghera fun in Magheracloone tonight.
Man of the Match Award. And to announce the Man of the Match Award winner, John Scully, and to present the Man of the Match, we have Kieran Rahal from the SFC Bank. So I give it to John Scully.
Carja, there's many fine performances today, and indeed on the Scotstown side there was some very, very fine individual performances, and there was certainly 5 or 6 different players in contention for man of the match, and after much deliberation by a 3-man jury, they've decided that man of the match goes to Magheracloone, number 13, Paudie Finnegan.
So Paudie has set them alight with the goal.
Get that gate open. I'll go up a few steps.
So the Magheracloone Mitchells make their way up the steps.
our breakers combined Coriola agus coming through an oil and Park agus Ahanor machine. We have now come to the conclusion of the ACC Bank Senior Football Championship of 2004. But before we make the presentation, I want to thank everyone who has helped us in any way to organise and run the competition, the championship this year. Particularly our sponsors, ACC Bank, represented here today once again by Kieran Rahal. Our thanks also to the referee and his officials today, to the Ulster Council and the Tourist Club, and our thanks to everyone, the stewards, and the public relations marketing committee for the programme, and everyone that assisted in any way. Congratulations to the two teams today on a fine to say, a tough game of football. But our commiserations to Scotstown, you've had a good campaign, a good season, and you've certainly worked hard. But on the day, I think you'll agree that the better team won. But today is a moment. But today is really a moment in history, because since 1948 only 4 clubs in Monaghan have won the senior championship That has now changed because Magheracloone joins the Roll of Honour. It's also historic in that since 1948, no other club, Magheracloone is the first club since 1948 from South Monaghan to win the senior football championship. I know, we all know through the whole county how much this means to you. We know the effort that you've made. We know the highs and the lows, the disappointments of 2 years ago. That's all behind you now, because you've made a massive effort, and particularly at underage level. And it's a great credit to you in Magheracloone. A great credit to you as members, as officers, as players, as a parish and as a community. You deserve this, and you deserve all the congratulations and support. So Marcin, it is a great honour for me now, for the last time as county chairman, to present the Michael Duffy Cup to the captain of Magheracloone, Paul Jones.
So Paul Jones receiving the cup from Gary Carvel. Scenes of jubilation. And surely has a speech prepared.
First of all, it's a great pleasure for me here, except they represent the great panel of players who've trained since last February, every day of the week. Credit to them, boys. Now this is a long time coming. We bought an ace 2 years ago. A lot of people said we missed the boat, but our panel of players knew we didn't. And that's why we dug our heels in, we worked very hard. And that's the result here today. So, you have to thank the Magheracloone committee, every one of them. This year we wanted to be got. And we didn't have to ask for it, and they were fighting everything. So thank you very much to them. John McCaul, your main sponsor. I'd like to thank him for sponsoring us this last few years. Thank you, John. There's a few boys I'd like to thank to make this possible. Took in a few old players, so we did. I don't know where they are. Took in a few players to give us that bit. We respect them since we were young lads, and that's why we took them in. And a round of applause for Gerard and Jesse. There's 32 more men I want to thank. Before I go to David, I'd like to thank Paudie from Loud, who come down a few nights and definitely direct us in the right way to win the Duffy Cup. And I've seen Paudie now. But I didn't think he allowed man to do this to us. But he definitely he gave us that winning instinct. And I'd like to put this to David Riley. Let's thank Scotstown for a good hard game. It was always going to be tough. We knew coming down here it was going to be tough from 3 years to Scotstown. Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray! Hip! Hooray! No, boys. We put the Pauric in 2 years ago. She's just starting now.
So Paul told you the party's just begun. when you get a chance to turn around, I've got a very special lady behind here, and that's Fiona Kindlon. Fiona, you've worked so hard with this Magheracloone squad for quite some time now. What a day this is for you today, Fiona.
Oh, this is just absolutely fantastic. Well, it wasn't really a case of me working hard, it was the players that worked really, really hard. And as Paul said, fair enough, they started this in February, this campaign, but this is really going since 2002, since that horrible defeat against Clontibbert, and they've just worked so hard and said, you know, we're not going out of Clones without the cup, and it's just brilliant for the parish, the community, for everybody. It's brilliant.
They set out their stall right from the throw-in. There was only one thing on their mind, and that was that the Mick Duffy Cup was going to South Monaghan.
That's true. I mean, even every single part of the pitch, every player just worked really hard in their own little corner, just covered their lines, and it was commitment, and it just was brilliant. I was a wee bit worried at times. I thought maybe Scotstown would sneak in to get a goal, but then the defensive work was superb, and they took knocks. There's lads out there now, and they're bleeding, and they've got blood from a result of this, but that's what it'll take to win a match. So
you have to shed blood, sweat and tears to be successful, Fiona.
Yes, you do, and we've had blood, sweat, and we'll probably will have tears now. It's a very emotional day, but it's
Fiona, thanks for talking to me.
Thank you.
The sponsor, John McLeody there, and Chairman Tom Freeman. Just keep the two of you for a minute. Chairman Tom Freeman, I talked to you here 2 years ago at the end of the drawing game. The words I said, if you're successful in the replay, we'll take you back to the carnival days. Matter fun in Magheracloone. That's what you're going to have now.
Well, there is no doubt about it. It's matter of fun from here until the end of the week. It's not a one-day job. As chairman, I'm delighted that the success has come, but I'm not surprised. I am not surprised. I have said all along, we had the talent, and we had the players that can play football. The big pitch suited them, and I must say, for the first time in my life at a football match, the height of praise has to go to the referee today. Football won out today because any tugging and pulling was cut out, and he did it. And the man in the middle, in my view, was the best referee I've seen at county finals in the last 5 years. And as I said earlier in the week to John Graham when he interviewed me up at home, this is a bonus to us for one reason. For I played at 28 years, I came along in and trained teams, and this particular team brought them to failure. Now we have a crop of 70 young players fighting to get their places in the local juvenile teams, and this will help immense. If we had been defeated here today, our work would be a lot harder. Again, too, I would like to thank yourself. You get all the praise of the world from our club at home for your commentary. They do ask, who is that man? And so they do, and there's no question about that. So if there's any...
Thanks for those words, Tom Freeman. John McLeody seems to have slipped away there, because if we could find him again, because you know, sponsorship, Tom, is so important.
Well, just you, I will get them.
You'll get John McLeody for me. I see Seamus Coyle of Latin in there. I think a lot of Monaghan is so happy that Magheracloone have made the breakthrough. I know my cameraman Pat must be getting very, very tired up there. Seamus Kyle, Aidan quickly. Aidan, could I steal you for a minute? Just trying to get Aidan's attention. Seamus, it's at last a county final for Magheracloone. It's been a long wait, as the saying is, but they've done it. and they've done it in style.
Absolutely. Magheracloone, this day has been coming for Magheracloone for a long time. They've worked very hard at juvenile level, right up winning under 16, right through the minor age groups, and right through the disappointment of 2 years ago, 2 county finals, to lose the replay. It was heartbreaking for them, but they stuck together. Great panel of players. They deserve their day today. Great day for the Magheracloone club and all the people that have worked so hard there. But it was a fabulous performance by Magheracloone right across the pitch. Really, they never let Scotstown into the game today at all, right through, and the result at the end reflects their dominance in that game. But fair play to them. It's a great breakthrough for a new club in Monaghan football, and let's hope it's the beginning of something new, where we will see new clubs coming through and winning the championship like Magheracloone have done it today, Tommy.
Seamus, I know you were disappointed that you couldn't have been here today with your Latin side, but that day will come too. There's good stuff there as well.
There is indeed, and if you look, Latin are a club now with 1 own World Cup, but Magheracloone have 2, Tommy. And I think they were that wee bit further advanced in their development than Latin as such. It would have been probably interesting to see Latin and Magheracloone out there today, but I think in next year's championship and in the championships in the years ahead, we will see it, and we'll see many's a good tussle. It's Magheracloone's day, and I congratulate them all. Great for Paul Jones, the Freeman brothers, all the lads out there today. They played very, very well. They deserve the credit of their club, and they're great credit to the Magheracloone community out there.
Seamus Coyle, always a pleasure talking to you. Aidan Quigley. Aidan, I'm going to pinch a word for you. We'll talk to more Magheracloone people after, maybe Scotstown as well. But I'm sure all the neutrals would love to have seen this today.
Definitely. But the bottom line is that you're going back to a club steeped in history to win their first county title. But the big thing in all is a new name on the McDuffie Cup. I was born the year the last team won it in Enniskeane, 1948.
And I was born the year before, yeah.
And I think, but I also have great admiration for Magheracloone for obvious reasons. One of the main reasons is that when I was looking to go for county chairman, the Magheracloone club were one of the clubs totally behind me, even though they were south of the county and I was north. And one person I would be thinking about today was Jim Fox. He's up there, and no doubt about it, he must have something down here because he was fit to do that today, but they were super today.
He done a lot of canvassing.
But in all fairness, they were the better team today, and nobody begrudges to them. But I have to say one thing, even though there was an 8-point gap, don't write off Scotstown.
They're there or thereabouts.
I'm telling you, there's a lot of lovely young lads coming off, young Cormac Morgan's young fella, lads I've seen there today. But today is Magheracloone's day.
And they're going to enjoy it.
John
Freeman said all week.
As I said, I wouldn't like to be a businessman running a business in Magheracloone for the next couple of days to get my staff in.
They'll be all closed.
Right.
Aidan Quigley, thanks for talking to me. Can you spare me a minute?
Who am I speaking to?
I've got another Freeman. He's a different Freeman, we say this time, it's Byrne, but with the same talent, the same ambition, and the same lovely medal.
Well, I don't know about the same talent or that there, but I have the same medal after the day, and it's a dream come true. We thought 2 years ago that we lost the plot a wee bit of that there. Today we had the experience from it, and we made it count. We said we'd never panic, no matter how if we were behind in the game. Today, we never went behind, lucky enough, but we stuck to our guns, our game plan, and it all worked out for us well in the end.
Now, there's an old saying, and that's keeping up with the Joneses, but Scotstown had a little more to do that than they had to keep up with the Freemans, the Finnegans, Doogan, Kelly, everybody. You know, Magheracloone just were rampant.
Well, it was always about a panel of 28 players. Like, We know we have two exceptional players in the two Freemans are that there, but like, it was always going to be about the 15 that took the field. Every man is as good as the other man. As I say, it's all like one big family. We respect every man equally, and it paid off for us today. Every man put in his due effort, including the subs that came on.
Some of the subs got playing. There was more on the bench that didn't get playing in this, but they are such an important part of the club as well, Byrne.
Absolutely. Like, we've been very lucky this year because we had no injuries. Last year we were hit with a very hard by injuries. We lost Pauric Kelly halfway through the year, and Damien Freeman, which came back just in the semi-final replay against Latin, which was a big blow to us. But this year, like, we were lucky enough, touch wood, we had no injuries. As I say, if we had injuries, you have that's the idea of a panel from 1 to 28, and they're all worth their place and worth their medal today.
Bernard, thanks for talking to me.
Thank you.
And Tom Freeman told me that those celebrations for a week, you'll be part of that.
I probably will. I mightn't be at work for a few days, all right. Thank you.
Bernard Freeman, great talking to you. Could you spare me a minute?
Well done. Go ahead.
Sean McCabe's with me, Sean. The camera's up there behind us. It just wasn't Scotstown's day today, either at minor or senior level, but there are good days ahead. There's a lot of talent coming on there.
Well, let's not take anything from Magheracloone's day. It was Magheracloone's day. They were the better team here today in the senior match by a mile, and as were Blaney in the minor match. So I think we recognise that, you know, if you don't perform in the county final day, you don't get the cup. So we didn't perform today, and we have absolutely no hang-ups about it. We wholeheartedly congratulate both Blaney and Magheracloone, particularly Magheracloone on winning their first senior championship. It's a wonderful historic day for them, and we certainly can recognise the wonderful work that they've done down the years and how much they deserve it.
Yeah, but Scotstown are definitely on the way back to the big time, Sean.
It's hard, it's difficult to know, you know, you just don't know from year to year, but at least we have a very young team, and I'm sure they'll learn from the mistakes of today, and if they do, many of them hopefully will go on to have a good few years football ahead of them yet.
Sean, you'll have a big task consoling them in there. 11 years of wait or something to get into a county final. Some of them probably won't be in another one, but there's plenty of them that I'm sure will. Sean McCabe, Garamila Mahaga.
Garamila.
Now, there's still a lot of people out here on the field, Pat, and if you're still not tired, I'll go out and I'll try and talk to them. David, could you come with me for a minute to have a few words? This is for the video. Thomas Freeman as well. The congratulations are going in all over. Now, I've seen a lot of Thomas Freeman over the past few years, and thankfully I saw quite a bit of you playing for Louth, because I covered the Leitrim League games for a number of years, and you've brought a lot of your expertise and a lot of your know-how into this very talented side. A great day this is for Magheracloone.
It's a tremendous occasion for Magheracloone. Like, first titles are hard won, and they'll be always remembered down in history. And in fairness, like, these are a highly motivated bunch of fellas. Coming in this year, the groundwork was done with this team going back on underage right the way through to minor under 21. And they should have won it 2 years ago. Maybe lost out, a bit unlucky losing the replay. So coming in, but they got a chance there today, and I was just lucky enough to be around the boys at the right time.
Well, it's just like being on the field of play. It's a case of being in the right place at the right time. You said it. You were there at the right time. Now, this is a fairly young Magheracloone team, and there'll be a lot more expected of them.
Oh, well, there should be. Like, at the end of the day, once you get the taste of winning, you know, that feeling never goes away. And your football career doesn't last any longer than 14, 15 years. And most fellas never get a chance, maybe playing only 3-4 county finals. And when you get the chance, you have to take it.
Take it, they did. I want to have a little word with Thomas Freeman. David, enjoy this. There's a smile on your face. I know you're going to enjoy it. But here is, like all the rest of the lads in black and white, there's Donal, Kindlon, Fintan, Kindlon, going off there along with Fiona. A very talented man indeed. Thomas Freeman, I've spoken to Damien, I've spoken to your dad, I've spoken to the other Freeman on the panel, Byrne, as well as some others. A great camaraderie in this Magheracloone outfit.
fantastic. Couldn't ask for any better bunch of lads, hey, and from the start of the year till now, and as Paul Young said earlier on there in the speech, we put in the work, and I no doubt we did deserve to win this. We've been knocking on the doors those last 2 or 3 years, in fact 4 years as well, and we've been unlucky, but you know, we said we'd put the work in and rectify ourselves, and that's what we've done today, and it's a fantastic feeling.
Now, you had a bit to spare at the end, but there were 2 Scotstown chances up at that goal up there. A ball that dribbled outside of the post, either side of the goal on them. Had those 2 or even one of them gone in, it might have been a different story. You're still there in a good command, but it would have left it a lot tighter.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, we never took Scotstown for granted. Like we knew all week like we were going to have a tough game, and that's what we got today. Scotstown had a couple of early chances, but I think you have to give it to our defence today. I don't think a goal was going to go past that defence today, and I have to give them their credit. But then again, you know, we were unlucky then, you know, at the start of the second half. I was trying to hit the post, you know, so if that had to go in, we would have drifted further out. But as you said, you know, we never took Scotstown for granted. We knew it was going to be tough, but we kept tipping away at our points, and you know, he was there, take your points and the goals come, and that's what we done. And I don't think we were going to be better today. We, as I said again, we set our stall out that we weren't even cloners without the McDuffie Cup, and that's what we've done. We've taken away us.
And I suppose after a week's celebrations, the work will begin with the intentions of a back-to-back.
Oh, yeah, surely. You know, it's we'll enjoy this one anyhow, and then enjoy for a few days, and then we get back to basics. I think we get back training Tuesday week for the Ulster Club. I think we're meeting the Carving champions, and you know, it'd be nice to get our first win, get past the first round and that, and take it from there. But then, when that's all over, we'll settle back and we'll try and defend our title for next year again.
Thomas Freeman, enjoy it, because it's not every player. You know yourself, and I've been watching football a long time, so many talented players down the years, and they achieved very, very little. So I know that you're going to enjoy this. It's the first of many. Thomas, thanks.
Thank you.
I said it was hard to keep up with the Joneses. I'm not quite sure. Oh, Pat's still out there. Pat, you're probably getting tired. You've just got to stand for it now, but somebody else has got the McDuffie Cup by the ears. This a really great day for Magheracloone.
Oh, it's a fantastic day for Magheracloone. Like, it's a day we've all dreamt of it, coming up the years playing football, like, you know what I mean. But to realise it today is just fantastic, and it's great for the players, but it's the supporters. When you see all together now, it's just brilliant. So it is
close knit. You've got the family affairs. You've got yourself, the Joneses, you've got the Freemans, you've got the Finnegans, Gilsenans, you know, you've got several representatives from a number of houses, and it keeps the thing tightly knit and keeps it going.
It keeps it tightly knit, but when we left that wrestling day, we were one big family, so we were all brothers, so when we left it, and we said we weren't coming back in without the McDuffie Cup. As Paul said in the speech, we put it on ice 2 years ago. We made sure we weren't going to leave it behind us today, so we won't.
Now, Francis, I saw the 2 Kindlons going in along with Fiona. I talked to Fiona a little earlier on, and the amount of work that them lads has done and that she has done as well, everybody, it's just unbelievable.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Like, the Magheracloone executive give us everything we wanted today, this year, so they did. Physios, everything, food after training, food before games and after games, whatever we wanted, we got it. Cannot say enough of praise for them, so you can't, you know.
And of course, I talked to David Riley. I was looking for Jerry, but I'm sure Jerry is taken up somewhere else.
Yeah.
If you see him, tell him I'd like to talk to him.
I will do, surely. Thank you.
Congratulations. That was Francis Jones, the towering midfielder for Magheracloone. There's Paul Jones. Going to steal you for a few minutes. I was talking to Francis, and Kindlon very deservedly holding the cup at the moment. Now, like I said to Byrne and Freeman, the old saying of keeping up with the Joneses, but there was an entire parish of Magheracloone to be kept up with today. Magheracloone, they learned so much from 2 years ago. They learned from the semi-final exit last year. This year was going to be theirs.
Yes. Oh yeah, 2 years ago Steve was disappointed on the same panel of players. Every player was there 2 years ago. We knew how it was like to lose. So we definitely won't come down to Clonus today to do the same thing. And we worked very hard this year, and thank God it came off.
Now, you start in the right place because your number one, Shane Duffy, he's a very influential figure. He's a big man with a big heart that loves his football, and he drives you on. He keeps it going. He drives you on all the way.
Yeah. Oh, Shane is a serious player for us. He drives, his kickouts are unreal, so that he can get them by midfield, and that's great. Takes the pressure off our backs. And I wouldn't like to be playing against Shane because he's a deadly stopper too. So Shane is a vital man for us. So he is.
You're glad that he opted for Magheracloone and didn't say with Latin.
Oh, I'm definitely so. He's a true Magheracloone man, and I'm delighted he is. I'm grateful to have him. So I am.
Congratulations, Paul. You did a great job.
Thanks very much.
John McClory, I want to talk to you for a minute. We've got the camera up there above, but the front of the shirt says that JMC Insulations sponsorship, and I mentioned it to many down the years. Sponsorship in this day and age is so important, and fair play to you. And well, they've repaid you.
They have repaid me 100%, but more so, I'm a good GA man, and I like to support the GA. Because I think it's great for kids especially, it's great for a parish, it's great for a community, and that was the main reason that I decided to sponsor the club. But in sponsoring them now, I've become closer and closer. I'm a blow into Magheracloone, I'm originally a down man, but in sponsoring them I've come closer and closer to everybody within the club, and I feel as one of them at the minute, and it's great to see it, and the future is good for Magheracloone football.
You said you were a down man, and I can tell you, down the years, there has been some great days of celebration there as well.
Indeed there has, and I'm the only down man to bring the Sam Maguire till Magheracloone and to Carrickmacross, and we had a good time on it then in '91 as well. So hopefully that will not be too far away again from a down point of view, but from a Monaghan point of view, it would even be more nice for me to be involved in that as well.
Tom Freeman, that's Tom Senior, told me that there was going to be a week of celebrations. It'll hardly stop at it.
It'll hardly stop at it, but we'll kick off the night, and tomorrow night I think maybe it'll lead us into Shercock or somewhere, and we'll keep it going as long as we can because this was well overdue and we're going to enjoy it.
John McClory, thanks a million for talking to me.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
So that was the sponsor, the main man himself, John McClory. Pat, will we wrap it up at that?
Pretty well in FM, no?
What was a very strong field for the past half hour or so as the Magheracloone celebrations had begun. It's now been given back its green grass. We'll wrap it up here in St. Tiernach's Park in Clonus. It's congratulations to the Mitchells, it's commiserations to Scotstown, it's Slán agus Beannacht, and good luck Magheracloone in the Ulster Club Championship.